is a shadow that follows us all. It lingers in the quiet, whispering doubts, wrapping itself around the soul like an unseen chain. Life does not ask if we are ready for the storms it brews. It simply lets them loose, one after another, testing the limits of our endurance. And yet in the face of it all, there is something within it, something unbreakable, something defiant. It is the voice that whispers when the world is silent, the fire that flickers when all else is dark. It is the will to rise. Through the pain, I still rise is not just a declaration, it is a promise, a vow to oneself that no matter how deep the wounds, no matter how heavy the sorrow, no matter how cruel the world may be, I will stand again and again and again. Because to rise is not just an act of defiance, it is an act of survival. There was a time when the weight of the world sat heavy on my shoulders, pressing me into the ground, a time when my voice trembled beneath the weight of unshed tears, when my hands curled into fists, not in anger, but in desperation, to hold on, to fight through, to refuse to be swallowed by the darkness. I have known pain, the kind that lingers in the marrow of your bones, the kind that echoes in your chest long after the wounds have closed, the kind that makes you wonder if the sun will ever shine again, if laughter will ever ring through the air without the bitter taste of yesterday's sorrow clinging to its edges. But let me tell you something about pain. It is not the end. It is not the full stop in the story of who we are. Pain is the ink that writes the verses of resilience, the fire that forges the steel within our souls. They tried to bury me beneath the weight of their words, told me I was not enough, that I was too broken, too scarred, too weary to stand tall. They pointed at my past like it was a prison, like it was a shackle I could never break free from. But they did not know that every wound I carried was not a mark of defeat. It was a testament to my survival. Oh, how they whispered, how they laughed behind closed doors, thinking I would crumble beneath the weight of their doubt. But they forgot. Storms do not drown the mountains. They carve them into something stronger, something immovable. I have walked through the fire and emerged with the embers still burning in my chest. I have stumbled through the darkness, but never once did I let it steal my light, because I know what they do not. Pain is not my prison. It is my power. There were nights when sleep refused to come, when the silence was too loud, filled with echoes of every hurt, every heartbreak, every battle lost and won. I have known what it is to be weary, to be so tired that even breathing feels like a struggle. But still, I rise. I rise for the little girl who was told she was too much and not enough all at once. I rise for the boy who carries the weight of the world on his back, bending beneath the pressure but never breaking. I rise for the woman who walks through the world with her scars on display, unashamed, unafraid. I rise for the man who has been told that tears are weakness, that softness is something to be ashamed of, when in truth, it is the greatest strength of all. I rise for every soul that has been beaten down, broken, made to believe that their worth is measured by the pain they have endured. And I rise for myself, because no one else will do it for me. They may push, they may pull, they may try to write my ending before I have spoken my last word. But they do not hold a pen, I do. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them say I cannot, I will not, I must not. Watch me, because I am more than the pain I have endured. I am more than the nights spent crying into the dark. I am more than the scars, more than the heartbreak, more than the loss. I am the dawn that follows the longest night. I am the thunder that roars after the lightning splits the sky. I am the phoenix, the warrior, the storm. I do not break. I do not bow. Through the pain, I still rise. They have told me to stay down, to accept my place, to lower my gaze and shrink myself into the corners of existence. They have thrown stones in my path, waiting for me to stumble, waiting for me to fall and never rise again. They have mistaken my silence for surrender, my bruises for defeat. But they do not know me. They do not know the strength that lies beneath my skin, the fire that refuses to be extinguished, the unyielding spirit that cannot be chained. I have been pushed to my knees by the weight of life itself, by the storms that rage without warning, by the hands that were meant to lift me but instead left me grasping for air. I have known what it is to feel forgotten, to feel unseen, to feel like the world has passed me by without so much as a second glance. And yet, through it all, I rise. They see the surface, the polished smile, the steady walk, the unshaken voice. They do not see the nights spent wrestling with doubt, the moments where I fought to breathe, where I clung to hope with trembling fingers. They do not see the battles fought in the silence, the wounds hidden beneath the laughter, the strength it takes to wake up and face another day. But I see it, I know it, and I will not let it break me. They will say I should not, that I cannot, that I am not meant to defy the odds written against me. But I was never made to be a footnote in someone else's story. I was never meant to be a whisper in the background, a fleeting thought, a forgotten dream. No, I was made to stand, to fight. Pain has tried to claim me, to carve itself into the very fabric of who I am, to write its name into the core of my being. But I refuse to let it define me. I refuse to be reduced to the struggles I have faced, to the tears I have shed, to the losses that have left empty spaces in my heart. Because I am more than my suffering. I am the sum of every victory, no matter how small. I am the strength built from every hardship, every challenge, every moment where I could have given up, but chose to keep going. I am the defiance in the face of despair, the resilience that refuses to be silenced, the hope that persists, even when the world says it should not. They will ask how I do it, how I keep standing when the weight of it all should have crushed me long ago. And I will tell them, it is not because I do not feel pain, not because I am untouched by sorrow or immune to heartbreak. No, I have known them intimately, carried them with me through the long nights and the lonely mornings. But I have also known something greater. When you land with admiration, something hard will always come settled on you and teach you their own lessons, play to you a mignonette. I have known the fire that lives within me, the unwavering belief that no matter how hard the world pushes, I will push back harder. I have known the power of rising, of refusing to stay down, of standing tall even when my legs shake beneath me. I have known the beauty of survival. There have been times when I have questioned my own strength, when the mirror reflected a face I barely recognized, when I wondered if the fight was worth it, if rising was still within my reach. But even in those moments, something inside me whispered, keep going, keep fighting, keep rising. Because the world will not hand me my place. It will not open its doors and invite me in. It will not make way for those who hesitate, for those who seek permission to exist in their fullest power. No, the world belongs to those who dare to claim it. So I rise, not just for myself, but for those who came before me. For those who fought battles I will never know, who walked paths I will never tread, who dreamed of futures they would never see. I rise for every soul who has been told they are too much or not enough, for every voice that has been silenced, for every dream that has been dismissed. I rise because I must. I rise because to do anything less would be to betray the fire within me. I rise because pain has tried to break me, but I am unbreakable. They may turn their backs. They may speak in hushed tones. They may believe that their words have the power to diminish me, but they are wrong, because I am still here, still fighting, still standing, still rising, and I will not stop. I have walked through fire and come out the other side, my spirit still intact, my soul still burning with purpose. I have faced the storms that threatened to tear me apart, and yet here I stand, unshaken, unyielding. They thought I would fall and never rise again, but they did not understand the depths of my strength, the resilience woven into every fiber of my being. They mistook my silence for surrender, my wounds for weakness, my tears for defeat. But they did not know that even in my quietest moments, I was preparing to rise again. They have tried to bury me in doubt, in fear, in the weight of their expectations, but they did not realize I am not soil to be walked upon, nor dust to be swept away. I am the roots that break through concrete, the force that refuses to be contained, the fire that cannot be smothered. I am made of something stronger than their words, something deeper than their fears. I do not bow, I do not break, I rise. Through the pain, I still rise, not because it is easy, not because I do not feel the weight of it pressing down on me, but because there is something inside me that refuses to be conquered. I have felt the sting of betrayal, the ache of loss, the cold grip of loneliness. I have watched doors close in my face, seen opportunities slip through my fingers, felt the sting of dreams torn apart before they could ever take flight, but still I rise. I rise because I am more than my failures. I am more than my wounds. I am more than the times I have been told no, more than the times I have been left standing alone. They may think they have won, that they have silenced me, that they have stripped me of my power, but they do not know the fire that lives within me. They do not know that every time I have been knocked down, I have learned to stand taller. Every battle I have fought has only sharpened my strength. Every heartbreak has only deepened my understanding of who I am. They do not see the nights spent wrestling with my own demons, the moments where I stood on the edge of giving up, the times when I wondered if the fight was worth it. But I see them, I remember them, and I know that every single one of those moments has led me here. They have shaped me, refined me, made me into someone who refuses to be erased. I have carried the weight of my past, the memories that threaten to pull me under, the pain that clings to me like a shadow. But I will not let them define me. I will not be a prisoner to what has been, nor will I let my past dictate my future. I am more than what has happened to me. I am more than the pain I have endured. I am more than the struggles I have overcome. They will say I have changed, that I am no longer the person they once knew, and they are right, because pain has a way of reshaping us, of stripping us down to our very core, of forcing us to confront who we truly are. And I have looked into the mirror, into the eyes of the person I have become, and I do not see weakness. I do not see defeat. I see power. I see resilience. I see someone who has risen from the ashes of every battle fought, someone who has refused to be broken, someone who has claimed their own strength. I do not need permission to exist, to thrive, to take up space in this world. I do not need validation from those who could never understand the depth of my journey. I do not need approval from those who have never known what it is to fight for every breath, for every step forward. I do not need them to see me, to recognize my strength, to acknowledge my victories, because I know who I am. I know what I have endured, and I know that I am still standing. Through the pain, I still rise, not because I am fearless, but because I have learned to fight even with fear in my heart. not because I have never known doubt, but because I have refused to let it control me. Not because I am immune to struggle, but because I have made peace with the battle. They will ask how I do it, how I keep going when everything seems stacked against me, when the road ahead is uncertain, when the world tells me to give up, and I will tell them, I rise because I must. I rise because my story is not over. I rise because there is more to be written, more to be lived, more to be fought for. I rise because every tear, every scar, every heartbreak has been leading me here to this moment, to this understanding of who I am. They may turn away, may whisper their doubts, may try to diminish me with their words, but they do not hold the pen to my story. They do not get to decide how this ends. I do. And as long as there is breath in my body, as long as there is fire in my soul, as long as there is even the smallest flicker of hope within me, I will rise again and again and again. They have thrown their storms at me, hoping I would drown. They have sent their winds to shake me, their darkness to consume me, their doubts to weaken me. But what they fail to understand is that I have danced in the rain of my own sorrow. I have walked barefoot across the ruins of my own heartbreak. I have faced shadows darker than their whispers and still found light within me. They thought I would be lost, but I have found myself in the very places they tried to break me. I have been wounded, but I am not weak. I have been shattered, but I am not destroyed. I have bled, but I have never bowed. They do not know what it means to endure, to suffer and still smile, to feel the weight of the world pressing down and still find the strength to stand. They do not know what it means to be bent by pain, but never broken by it. They will tell me to stop, to settle, to stay where I am, to accept what is given and never ask for more. But I was not made to be confined, to live within the lines they have drawn for me. My spirit is not one to be tamed, my fire not one to be dimmed. I was made to rise, to break free, to step into the fullness of who I am without apology, without hesitation, without fear. I have been called too much, too strong, too loud, too bold, and for too long I tried to quiet myself, to soften my edges, to make myself small enough to fit into the spaces they allowed me, but no more. I have outgrown their expectations, outlived their doubts, outshone their attempts to diminish me. I have learned that I do not have to shrink for the comfort of others, that I do not have to silence my voice to be accepted, that I do not have to dim my light to be loved. Because love, the real kind, the kind that does not waver, the kind that does not break under the weight of truth, will never ask me to be less than I am. And strength, the real kind, the kind forged in the depths of pain, the kind that does not need permission to exist, will never apologize for taking up space. I have been underestimated, overlooked, pushed aside. They have mistaken my kindness for weakness, my softness for fragility, my silence for compliance, but they did not see the battles I have fought behind closed doors, the nights spent rebuilding what was broken, the moments where I could have given up but chose to keep fighting. They did not see the fire I have carried within me, the resilience that has been stitched into my very bones. They thought I would stay down. They thought I would never recover. They thought the weight of my pain would be enough to keep me from ever standing tall again. But they did not know that every time I fell, I was learning how to rise stronger. Every tear I shed watered the roots of the woman I was becoming. Every scar I carried became a map of my survival, a testament to the storms I had endured and the strength that still remained. I have learned that pain is not my enemy. It is my teacher. It has shown me who I am when everything is stripped away, when all that remains is the truth of my soul. It has taught me that I am not defined by what has happened to me, but by how I choose to rise from it. It has given me the power to stand in my truth, to own my story, to look into the eyes of those who doubted me and say, I am still here. I do not seek revenge against those who have hurt me, nor do I wish for their downfall, because my victory is not in their defeat. My victory is in my survival, in my ability to keep rising, to keep thriving, to keep walking forward despite every attempt to hold me back. My revenge is in my happiness, in my success, in my refusal to be defined by the pain they tried to bury me in. I am not a victim of my past. I am not a prisoner of my pain. I am not the sum of my losses, my struggles, my hardships. I am the warrior who fought through it all. I am the survivor who refused to surrender. I am the storm that will not be tamed. There will always be those who doubt me, who try to pull me back into the darkness I fought so hard to escape. There will always be voices that tell me I am not enough, that I should not dream so big, that I should not believe in myself so fiercely. But I have stopped listening to them because I know my own power now. I know that I am capable of more than they ever imagined. I know that I am worthy of every dream I dare to chase. I know that I am deserving of love, of joy, of a life that sets my soul on fire. And I will not let their fears become my limitations. I will not let their doubts plant themselves in my mind. I will not let their words shape the way I see myself. I will not let their opinions dictate the path I walk. Because this life is mine. These dreams are mine. This strength is mine. And I will not waste another moment seeking permission to be who I was always meant to be. They may not understand me, they may not support me, they may not celebrate my victories or acknowledge my strength, and that is fine, because I do not need them to. I do not rise for them, I rise for myself. I rise because I have fought too hard, endured too much, sacrificed too greatly to let it all be in vain. I rise because I have seen what it means to survive, and I have chosen to do more than that. I have chosen to thrive. I rise because I refuse to be remembered as someone who gave up. I refuse to be known as someone who settled, who stayed silent, who let the weight of the world crush them. No, I will be remembered as someone who stood tall, even when the ground beneath them crumbled, as someone who spoke, even when their voice trembled, as someone who loved, who fought, who lived with a fire that could never be extinguished. They will ask me one day how I did it, how I survived the pain, how I faced the darkness, how I kept going when everything seemed to be against me. And I will look them in the eyes, unshaken, unafraid, and I will say, through the pain, I still rise. They have tried to bury me beneath the weight of my own suffering, thinking I would never find the strength to push through. They have whispered behind my back, convinced that my wounds would be the chains that kept me bound. But what they fail to understand is that pain is not my prison, it is my power. Every tear I have cried has watered the ground beneath me, and from it I have grown taller. Water beneath my hair, I'm soaked to the bone, that I'm brown, the living victim. Every scar I carry is not a mark of weakness, but a reminder that I have survived what should have broken me. They thought my silence was surrender. They thought my struggles were the end of me. They thought that if they pressed hard enough, if life took enough from me, I would crumble beneath the weight of it all. But they did not know that my spirit is carved from the very mountains that stand unmoved by the winds of time. They did not know that even in the darkest moments, I was never lost. I was only waiting for my moment to rise. I have seen what it means to lose everything, to stand alone, to be abandoned by the very hands that once held me. I have felt the sting of betrayal, the coldness of indifference, the emptiness that comes from being unseen, unheard, unloved, and yet, even then, I refuse to let the pain define me, because I know now that I am not what I have lost. I am not the heartbreaks, the disappointments, the struggles. I am what remains when the fire has burned everything else away. I am what is left when there is nothing but the raw, unshaken truth of who I am. And the truth is, I am unstoppable. They may try again. Life may test me once more. The world may send new storms my way, new burdens, new heartbreaks. But I am no longer afraid. I have walked through fire and did not burn. I have stood at the edge of the abyss and did not fall. I have faced every fear, every doubt, every hardship, and I am still here. That is my power. That is my victory. They will wonder how I keep going, why I refuse to stay down, why I still dare to dream, to hope, to love after all that has happened. And I will tell them, I do not rise because it is easy. I do not rise because I do not feel pain. I rise because I must. Because there is more waiting for me beyond the suffering, beyond the struggle. Because there is a life that I have yet to claim, a purpose that I have yet to fulfill. I rise for the little girl I used to be, the one who dreamed with wide eyes before the world told her she couldn't. I rise for the person I am becoming, the one who refuses to be defined by the past. I rise for those who never had the strength to rise themselves, for the voices that have been silenced, for the ones who were never given the chance to see how far they could go. I rise because I have seen the other side of pain, and I know that there is beauty beyond it. I rise because I refuse to let the hardships of yesterday steal the joy of tomorrow. I rise because every time life told me I couldn't, I proved that I could. They will not remember me for the times I fell. They will not speak of the moments when I stumbled, when I faltered, when I was lost in the darkness. No, they will remember that I got back up. They will remember that I stood even when the world tried to crush me. They will remember that I faced every battle with fire in my heart and steel in my. And they will know, no matter what comes next, no matter how hard they try, no matter how heavy the burden, they have tried to break me in ways too many to count. They have thrown their shadows over me, hoping to drown out my light. They have whispered doubt into my ears, hoping to weaken my resolve. But what they do not understand is that my strength was never built on their approval. My fire was never meant to burn only when they allowed it. My will does not belong to them, nor does my spirit bend at their command. I have walked through the valleys of my deepest pain. I have known the weight of nights that seemed endless, where even the stars seemed to dim, where even my breath felt too heavy to carry. I have faced moments where the pain threatened to consume me, where I wondered if rising was even possible. But each time something inside me stirred, a whisper, a pulse, a flicker of something greater than my despair. They thought I was fragile because I have known sorrow. They thought I would never stand because I had once fallen. They thought my past was enough to silence me, to hold me in place, to keep me in the smallness they created for me. But I have shattered their expectations, burned down the cages they built, walked away from the limitations they tried to place upon me. I have learned that rising is not a single moment, not a single victory, not a single triumph. It is a choice I make every day. It is in the way I refuse to give up. It is in the way I reclaim my joy. It is in the way I no longer apologize for my presence, for my voice, for my dreams. They will ask how I do it, how I find the strength to keep going, how I continue to rise when life keeps knocking me down. And I will tell them, Rising is not about never falling. It is about never staying down. It is about knowing that even in my weakest moments, there is still power within me. It is about understanding that pain is not an ending, but a beginning. And there is no obstacle. There's only passion, big images to go behind, frost begons. I have carried burdens that were never meant to be mine. I have held on to pain that was not my own. I have spent too long believing that my worth was tied to what I have endured, but now I see the truth. I am not my sufferings. I am not my wounds. I am not my past. I am the strength that came from it. I am the wisdom that rose from it. I am the fire that refused to be put out. They have tried to define me by what I have lost, but I choose to define myself by what I have gained. I have gained resilience. I have gained understanding. I have gained the unshakable certainty that no matter what happens, I will never stop rising. There is no force in this world strong enough to hold me down. No betrayal, no heartbreak, no failure, no loss can take away what is mine, because what is mine is the power to keep going, the courage to keep fighting, the unyielding spirit that refuses to be conquered. They may say that I should have given up by now. They may wonder why I still believe in my own strength, in my own power, in my own future. But I do not rise for their understanding. I do not rise for their approval. I do not rise to prove anything to those who never believed in me. I rise because I was meant to. I rise because there is more waiting for me. I rise because I refuse to live in the shadows of my past, when I was made to walk in the light of my own becoming. I have seen darkness, but I am not darkness. I have felt pain, but I am not pain. I have known loss, but I am not lost. I am here. I am strong. I am rising again and again and again. And so I stand here unwavering, unbroken, unafraid. I am not the pain I have endured, nor the struggles I have faced. I am the strength that rose from them. Every scar tells a story not of defeat, but of resilience. Every tear shed watered the roots of my growth. Every battle fought carved me into who I am today. I rise not because it is easy, not because the road has been kind, but because my spirit refuses to be silenced. I rise because there is more ahead, more to claim, more to become. The past may have shaped me, but it does not define me. The storms may have tested me, but they do not own me. And so, with fire in my soul and purpose in my stride, I rise again and again and again, because nothing, no pain, no fear, no doubt will ever keep me down.